Now that we've got our channels set up, let's just have a quick look at our overview of what we can do with them. So in our normal mode, you can see, well, now the screen doesn't go to sleep, is across the top here, it will start to give an overview of gains, sends, EQs and everything done on our channels. If we want to go specifically into a channel and start to edit it, we just click on name of the channel. And now this whole section is the processing for that channel that we've selected. So as we go along, we can start with input. This goes sequentially through just as any digital sound desk would. So starting with input, we can do things like phase invert, stereo link channels. We can put on our phantom power if we have a DI or anything else that requires phantom. We can also do our gain. Now for any of these knobs, you just put your finger on it and then you can move your finger up and down to bring the gain level up and down like so. USB trim is only if you're using the USB port on the front to actually be able to play back channels out of a DAW software, which is unlikely that we're going to be doing in any of our scenarios. Our high pass filter is also located here with the input gain as opposed to with the EQ if you're looking for your high pass filter. By default, it's off, so you need to turn that on. And again, just like gain, pressing the knob and then moving your finger up and down to adjust, and it will give you the readout of what frequency that's set to. And now we can move across to sends. So on our sends page, remember this is your channel now being able to be turned up into all of your sends, or most commonly foldback. So for example, if I go across to our vocal channel, I can go one by one and turn up my vocal into all of the different channels quite easily in one place. Another key thing to find in this area is if I go to advanced mode up the top right, is I can change how this is actually being sent. So for example, if I select aux1, I could say at the moment we're going post EQ, which is pre-fade, but say this was an MC mic or a playback channel, I might want to actually set that to being post fade, which then means that if I pull the fader down, it also pulls it out of foldback. So this is a really key place to find whether you're doing this pre-EQ, post-EQ, pre-fader, post-fade, etc. I'll just reset that to post-EQ, pre-fade, because that's exactly where we'd want a vocal to be for our foldback. So yeah, I can pull those back down. Just going to jump back for a second to our input one to actually show the linking. I've got two stereo channels here. At the moment, our keys channels are completely separate. So anything I do to one has no relation to the second one. If I press the link button on our input section, do I link channels 3 and 4? Yes. These are now linked. Now, not only are the faders linked, but the beautiful thing, if I skip across to my EQ is now linked across the two faders as well, which we'll now start to look at. So our EQ shows frequencies from our low frequencies all the way through to our high frequencies. I've got 4 bands of EQ that I can work with on an M32. Sorry, MR18, same deal. So to be able to change any of these, I can just grab the band of EQ, represented by this, and then boost that or cut that. I can also do a 2-finger gesture and widen out the Q of that EQ to be able to take out more or less frequencies either side of what I've selected. So my 2 EQs in the center are what we call bell EQs or a PEQ, which does this kind of pattern, taking out a certain frequency and frequencies either side of it. Now, by default, our high band of EQ is a shelf EQ, which either boosts up or cuts gradually over anything over that frequency. I can, however, go up here to the right hand side and change the type of EQ, and I can actually change that to being a PEQ or even, there we go, back to a shelf, or even I can make it a high cut, which gets rid of absolutely everything over that frequency. So there's a few options there. I'll put that back to being a PEQ. And same thing can happen as well for my low EQ. I can also change that to being high pass or different types of bell EQs as well. You can also do this by by pressing the knobs and doing it that way, but let's face it, most of the time you're just going to do it by grabbing things like that. Now, I don't have any audio running through this at the moment. However, if I did, I can press the RTA button. Now, the RTA button is really cool because you will start to see lines appear on here which show you the frequency response of the audio coming through. So if I had a kick drum, you'd be seeing a whole heap of lines coming through here, which actually display where the frequencies are coming from and how much the frequencies are. This is a really useful tool when you're EQing to be able to find out, say, where that sibilance is in someone's voice or where that boominess is in a acoustic guitar, for example. But you must remember that having the RTA, which is real-time analyzer, on takes up a lot of processing power in your control link back to the MR18. So it can sometimes, once that's running, make all the rest of your controls just lag up a bit with the amount of processing that it needs. So I normally have it turned off unless I need it, turn it on for the time that I'm needing it, do my EQs, being able to utilize that tool, and then turn it off again. Okay, coming back to our overview, as we're moving along, we've also got our gate options and our compressor options. We'll look at them in more depth in another tutorial. We have our insert options, which allow you to actually plug in different effects or processors over channels. Again, something I rarely use on this. We'll probably run another tutorial, an advanced tutorial at a later stage on that. Presets. Once you've got your channel set up the way you like it, and say it might be my favorite worship leader's mic setting, once you've finally got the mic sounding just the way you like it, you can actually store presets, name that preset that person's name, and recall presets for that channel. So very handy tool. Also really handy for acoustic guitars that somebody brings in all the time or a different MC. And you can find that in the channel overview. We move across to the output. Output, for the most part, we don't do a great deal with this in an M32 because for the most part, we're just sending to the PA or to our sends. You can find your panning left and right in this area, which can be useful if you've got a stereo PA. One important thing is you can also assign and unassign something to your master left right. So if it's unassigned and I push the fader up, we're not coming out of front of house. So important to make sure that's assigned. By default, they all are, but having that turned off could be a trap. Now that's a basic overview of all of our processing for the channels. If you want to do something that's system related, you need to then come back out of our channel overview, which then gets you back into your shows, effects, snapshots, routing, etc. But as soon as you select the channel, you're back into the overview and you can start to go through all your different settings.